The warm evening air in Florence wrapped itself around Emma as she stepped through the tall French doors and out onto the terrace. A faint scent of jasmine drifted from the garden below, mingling with the rich aroma of wine still lingering from dinner. The city stretched before her like a living painting, narrow, cobblestone streets winding between old, terracotta rooftops, their edges kissed by the silver glow of the moon. Down in the square, laughter floated upward from a small group of musicians playing a slow, romantic tune, the notes blending into the hum of the night. Candlelight flickered across the terrace, casting soft golden shadows that danced on the walls. Her heels clicked gently against the stone floor as she walked forward, drawn by the quiet figure leaning casually against the ornate balcony railing. Daniel turned his head at the sound, his gaze finding hers instantly, a slow smile forming on his lips. The way he looked at her made the rest of the world blur. The city lights reflected in his eyes, but his attention was fixed entirely on her. Emma's pulse quickened. She smoothed her dress unconsciously, the silky fabric shimmering faintly each time the breeze brushed against it. The air between them felt electric, like the pause before a storm, charged, waiting. Daniel didn't speak at first, and she didn't need him to. The silence carried a weight that said more than words could. He stood there, framed by the ancient city and the night sky, his relaxed posture hiding an unmistakable tension in his gaze. Somewhere below, a church bell struck the hour, the soft chime blending with the sound of the wind rustling through the leaves. Emma took another step forward, her hand trailing over the cool marble railing. Every detail, the soft light, the gentle music, the way the moon painted his profile, felt like a scene meant only for them, as if the city itself had conspired to bring them to this exact moment. Their breaths were uneven when they finally slowed, lips parting just enough to let the cool night air slip between them. Daniel rested his forehead against hers, his eyes still closed as if keeping them open might break the spell. His hand stayed at her waist, fingers splayed, holding her as though she might drift away if he let go. Emma's heart was still racing, her lips tingling from the countless kisses they'd shared, her entire body alive with the memory of his touch. For a long moment, neither of them spoke. The silence was thick, filled with everything they were feeling but hadn't said. The city below carried on as though unaware of the promise forming. In the quiet between them, the faint music still played, the breeze still rustled through the leaves, but here on the terrace, time felt suspended. Daniel finally opened his eyes, searching her face with an intensity that made her forget to breathe. "Promise me there'll be more nights like this," he said softly, almost a plea, his voice carrying a vulnerability she had never heard before. Emma felt the weight of the words settle in her chest. She could have answered with something light, something teasing. But instead she reached up, cupping his face with both hands, her thumbs brushing over his skin. She leaned in, giving him one more kiss, slow, deep, lingering, before pulling back just far enough to meet his gaze. "I promise," she whispered, and in that moment, she meant it with every part of her. His smile was small but real, his eyes warming as if her answer had lit something inside him. They stayed like that, wrapped in each other's arms, the night stretching endlessly ahead, the future suddenly feeling closer, clearer, and more certain than it had a moment ago. And as another gust of jasmine-scented wind curled around them, Daniel kissed her again, not as a question, but as a seal on the promise they had just made.